Hey book nerds, I'm Travis and this is Travis Reads Books. Today I'm going to be doing a review of Zero Repeat Forever by G.S. Prendergast. I received a copy of this book free of charge from the publisher. The promotional materials for this book came with the tagline, Beauty and the Beast meets the Fifth Wave. And that is probably one of the most accurate descriptions I could possibly apply to this book. The story takes place shortly after an invasion of Earth by alien forces called the Nox. The story revolves around a young girl named Raven who has lost everyone she cares about in the alien invasion. The story also follows one of the aliens, a defective drone named Eighth, who is considered defective because he exhibits human-like tendencies and emotions, and he's not the soulless killing machine that the rest of the alien drones are. As you might expect from the Beauty and the Beast theme, eventually their paths cross, and they're forced to work together, even though they both had been so completely committed to wiping out the other's species. There's a ton of action. There's some great survivalist sections where Raven and her group are trying to survive on their own without civilization, while avoiding detection by the Nox, who will kill them on sight. If you're planning on reading this book, don't get too attached to any of the characters, because there's a George R.R. Martin level of character death in this book. Nobody is safe, and you never know when someone's going to get knocked off, which is certainly believable considering how much death is going around in the world during this story. One of the great things about this book is the way it subverts typical YA tropes by really turning them on their head. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know one thing that I hate more than anything else in the world is insta-love. And although this book certainly has insta-love in the case of Eighth falling for Raven, it's not just a matter of plot convenience. Eighth suffers from a very serious case of reactive attachment disorder. And you come to find out why and some of what happened to him. And so for him to fall so completely in love with the first human girl he sees ends up making perfect sense in the context of the story. And Raven, for her part, is much slower to come around to admitting she has feelings for Eighth. In fact, in her case, it's a little more like insta-hate. And that makes sense, considering Eighth is part of an alien force that has killed all of her friends and family. Another trope common in YA books is the love triangle, and it's a little more interesting here. Normally I'm not a big fan of love triangles, but in this case it's more of a love square between multiple characters, including an alien and a dead person. So I think it's atypical enough to not feel like a run-of-the-mill love triangle. Probably my favorite thing about this book, and I enjoyed a lot of things about it, was the writing. The writing is just beautiful. It has a contemplative, lyrical style and a wonderful cadence to it. A lot of work went into preparing these sentences for us to read, making sure everything sounded just right. And even when reading chapters from the perspective of Eighth, who is a defective model and fighting mind control from his alien overlords, and his stream of consciousness can be a little disconcerting, but it's always very beautiful to read. It still feels like these characters' genuine thoughts. It doesn't feel like someone else's writing for them. It's just that these are two characters who are able to perceive and describe great beauty in the world around them, even when completely surrounded by death and destruction. The book is clearly meant to be a series, and I'm not a huge fan of cliffhanger endings, but this one works, I think, because it properly resolves the narrative of the story and gives you closure, even while opening up a new story and a new adventure to take place in the subsequent books. Well, that was my review of Zero Repeat Forever by G.S. Prendergast. If you liked the review, be sure and give it a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, maybe subscribe so you don't miss any reviews in the future. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. Love and respect. See you next time.